nobody was expecting Rich Township to beat the top team in the state, which is Kenwood Academy. And Kenwood Academy was nationally ranked 23 at that time, and they were still undefeated.
Right.
And Rich Township handed them their first loss. Mm-hmm. And in that game, like Rich Township came into that game with 4 losses. They may still have 4 losses right now, but nobody expected them to win that game. And the fact that they won that game and then they came back and did it again the following day in the championship. You know what I mean? So that was probably the best
in their own tournament.
Yeah,
you know
in their own tournament. Yeah,
they really, you know, and that's basically a good example of like taking your respect. You know what I mean? Like showing, and those guys, and granted, those guys are still trying to mesh too, because they're all like, for the most part, I think that's a new 5. Like they haven't played together before, so you know what I mean. Them having, I think 4 losses, maybe before then they were like 4 and 5 or something before the Dipper. So yeah, it's just not that they weren't a good team, they just didn't put it together yet, and you could just see it meshing, and it meshed at the right time when they needed it the most. You playing the best team in the state in your tournament. Like if any point you needed to turn it up, like that was the point, and they did it. So they definitely got, you know, everybody's attention, and that's how it goes. Like you can't be mad that media isn't covering you if you're not giving them anything. You gotta
prove yourself.
You gotta prove yourself, and they did that.
Because
I guarantee you, if Rich Township did not do anything in that tournament, me and you would not be planning to go to any other Rich Township games this year.
So guarantee I'm putting in all this work in the all season. All season, I can dominate all season. Put in work in the all season. All season. So I can dominate all season. Put in work in the all season. All season.
Welcome to another episode of the Off-Season Podcast. This is episode, I don't even remember what episode this is. We'll put it in the title, but this is another episode of the Off-Season Podcast, man. Happy New Year to everyone. Sure. Been a while since we last potted. I know it was football season when we were podcasting, preparing for the state championship. Now we in basketball. Basketball is in full swing. We've been getting out to a bunch of games. I think we've been getting out to at least one game, sometimes even 3-4 games.
Yeah, bro, the way these
in a
shootouts
week.
and holiday tournaments.
They happen a lot. Holiday season has so many tournaments. We had the Big Dipper. We had the Jack Tosh Holiday Classic. Hinsdale Central Holiday Classic. We just came from the Steve shootout at DePaul College Prep. Bunch of holiday tournaments. I think the next one coming up is that we are eyeing is the MLK one at home with Flossmoor. But a lot of good basketball we've been seeing, bro. It's a little different from football because football, it's only one game per team that plays a week.
Exactly.
And basketball is different, man. We've seen a bunch of teams more than once because they're just playing more often. And there's a lot of teams that have been standing out to us for sure. I know I made the little video on Rich Township. Yeah. If you ask my opinion, this is a hot take. I think they may be the best team in the state. Yeah. With how they dominated Kenwood and HF at the Big Dipper. So what do you think? Like, what are some of the teams? Because you got out into tournaments too. I think that Mount Carmel had a tournament as well that you got out to.
Yeah. So that was like one of the first shootouts. I think it was a Team Road shootout. I got to see a couple of games there. So it started with St. Ignatius playing. They played, and I like Phoenix Gill.
He's nice. Ignatius. He got a mid-range game.
Yeah, bro. He has a complete game. I like his game. He got a smooth game, bro. I like Phoenix Gill. He scores, at will. I really like his game. And then I got to see Downers Grove North. And I thought they were going to be really good, too, when I first saw them because just their physicality, they got, nice size or whatever, really dominant paint presence. So, yeah, I like Downers Grove North. In that game, then I got to see Bloom play, and I like Elijah Love more. Like Elijah Love more, point guard, bro. I like his game. Like defensively, I like his game more than anything, and he's looking to be a playmaker on the court. Like that's what I like the most. He could score the ball, but really like going out his way to defend and make plays, like get his teammates involved. Like I really like him as a point guard. But yeah, so that was the first. That was kind of the first game, the couple games that I got out to, and then what was the next after that? Did you go?
I know the first game I saw this season was HF playing Bradley Bourbonnais, and they dominated them. They, like I was saying, we made the highlight video. That was our first. Was that our first basketball highlight video?
That was the first basketball. Yeah.
Yeah. So and I pretty much put in the title like they starting off like they was starting off last. I mean they starting off like they finished last season. You know what I mean? They dominated that team. I think they was undefeated at that time, but they looked pretty good. They got a lot of good talent on that team. I know it's for the most part, different team than last year.
Yeah.
But they doing some great things over there. They got a very solid team. I think after that, I probably saw Kenwood and Simeon.
Kenwood
and Simeon was the game after that I saw, and then that we posted. That was a really good game because that atmosphere was electric. I love CPL matchups. Whether it's football, whether it's basketball, even low key. I know back in high school, baseball CPL matchups used to be hitting too. But the thing that I love about it is because I think the schools, for one, I want to point out is that the schools do a very, at least from my experience of being at the games. You know, I don't want to talk about anything from the past, but the schools I feel like do a very good job of making sure that like they know what the game is. Like it's a rivalry amongst any CPL school, whether it's Kenwood playing Simeon, whether it's Morgan Park playing Kenwood or whatever, whether it's football or basketball. But they do a good job of making sure that like none of the BS happens, like the things outside of what's happening on the court or on the field. They make sure they ramp up security. They make sure making sure that, you know, the parents and the kids can come in to a game still making competitive, still talk or whatever, but also at the end of the day, these are kids playing games and we don't want any of the BS outside of that to happen. And that's one thing I saw at the Kenwood game. Like the Kenwood Simeon game, a fight didn't break out. Let's make that clear. Like whatever it looked like on our video, fight did not break out, but it could have. Yeah. And what the coaches did, and I thought they did a great job, that what you can see in the video is that they deflected it, and that was both sides. Even the players did a good job of deflecting it. But at the end of the day, it was a intense game and emotions get involved, especially when we talking about high school kids. And I think the thing that, you know, both schools did a good job in was deflecting it, making sure like, yo, this is a sport, this is a game, emotions gonna get high, but at the end of the day, it's a game. Like it don't need to go beyond that. It's not that deep to turn into a fight. And I think they did a good job with that at the basketball game. Kenwood Simeon, I think it was a great job of that being done when Kenwood played Morgan Park at Lane Tech Stadium in football. I think that's even when Simeon played Morgan Park at Gately Stadium, I thought it was just a good job of making sure that we're keeping it within the sport. You know what I mean? Like it's not anything that's gonna happen crazy outside of that. And if it does, they ramp up the security for that. So, but I love those games, bro. Those are like my favorite games to see. Like out of any of the Catholic League games we saw, whether it's football or basketball, I think my favorite games to see are when a CPL team is attached to it, just because the environment is so electric and the game just be so intense, bro, back and forth and everything.
Yeah. I think they like the CPL schools, they still hold on to their rivalries. Like it's still prevalent. Like you know what I mean? So yeah, you could definitely feel an atmosphere change when
I love
the
that,
CPL,
bro.
Yeah, I love like in the south suburbs, it's kind of dying out. You know what I mean? As far as the big game rival, but I don't want to jump ahead because the Dipper brought that feel back. Like, you know what I mean?
Bro,
it felt like
shocked.
the Dipper. It felt like the Dipper.
The Dipper, I was like really shocked. Because I didn't go to the earlier games. We went to more of the later games. But I was shocked to see the environment there, bro. And I was shocked to see how beautiful that Rich Township gym looked. Because I ain't seen it. The last time I've been to Rich Township, I think they were still called Rich South.
Yeah.
And they had that old gym. And seeing the new gym, it looks beautiful. I do wish they can make more exits, but that's just besides the point. But that gym looks nice. And then to see the environment of the Dipper, I was like, whoa, it's high. Like, because, you know, we've been away. At least I've personally been away from high school sports prior to us doing this, starting off season. But, you know, it was a point last year when we was talking. I'm like, man, there's high school sports in the area. Damn, like, it seemed like North versus South, I felt was more electric in football and things like that. But the Dipper, seeing that, man, I don't think it's dead at all. It's live and well. It's live and well. You know what I mean? So yeah, but the Dipper was definitely great games that we saw there. I know Kenwood, Rich Township, that was probably one of the best games I saw this year too. Mainly because that was a true back and forth game. Like Kenwood could have won that game, and I think if a couple plays go their way, they would have won that game. But what I credit Rich Township on doing is that they played great defense at the end, and they stuck in there, and they ended up pulling out a hit and winning. I think it was like 87-84 or something like that. So I don't know, bro. Like the games that we've been seeing, like obviously basketball in Chicagoland area is it's probably a bigger scene, bigger market than football, but I've been loving all of it that I've been seeing. What about you though?
Definitely. Like, I love it. And even Catholic games too. I got to see Fenwick and Mount Carmel play. And that one surprised me because I wasn't really looking at Fenwick like for basketball, like as a basketball school. I was really going like I want to see what Mount Carmel about.
I didn't even know Nate Marshall was a hooper. Really.
Yeah, I didn't either. You know what I mean? But I got to pull up to that game and Nate went off. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, but what I like most about Fenwick is they gritty, bro. I was telling you they was playing Bolingbrook and you was there and I'm like, man, one thing they gonna do is play defense. They got a gritty ass defense. Like they gonna take charges, they gonna play good sound defense, they gonna be physical, you know what I mean? And they got some shooters. So I really like Fenwick. But that game I went to, they was turned like Fenwick really controlled the game from beginning to end, and I was not expecting that. Like they rolled Mount Carmel, and I'm like, oh, we gotta keep up with Fenwick. They got Ty, he a shooter, bro. Like so I'm like, I definitely got to keep up with them. But I really like Fenwick as a basketball team. Like that's definitely one of my favorite teams to watch right now.
Yeah, even in the game that I saw with Fenwick playing Bolingbrook about a week ago. Yeah, about a week ago. At the Jack Tosh Classic
York.
In the championship. They played pretty well. They were up 30-20, I believe, at the half, and they was controlling the game for the most part. But, Bolingbrook being the good team that they are as well, they was able to battle back and eventually, win that game. But man, that was a game they could have won. If you watch that full game, but we got the full game highlights on YouTube, check it out. But if you watch that game, like that was a tense game too. Like that was a back and forth game. Another team that I saw that was pretty good was it was Brother Rice. Brother Rice had who's number 3 on Brother Rice that was like
I forgot his name.
Anyway, but yeah, number 3 on Brother Rice. He was going crazy against Hinsdale Central. And I think that was a game they should have won. You know what I mean? But Vince Buzelis played very well. Right. Put up 18 points in that game. And he's another player that we saw this year that, has been dominating. I wish I was at the game where he scored like 40-something points.
Exactly,
the first game I went to, it's not like he didn't play well, but he didn't put up 40-something points.
Right.
So, and I wish we was at that game. But what do you think about how the highlights between Brother Rice and Hinsdale Central when they played each other?
Yeah, I like Vince Buzelis' game, bro. Like, I like his game. It kind of reminds me of how Phoenix Gills play. You kind of see like those athletes who really work on their game, get into their spots. I know we posted that one highlight where he caught the ball on the wing, he jab step, drove middle of the lane, spin, finish. You know what I mean? Like it's just that type of movement. The guys who like are gonna be playing at the next level for sure. Like that game translate. So I really like Vince's game. I like that Hinsdale Central team too. I also got a chance to go out to Hammond. So they had like kind of like and I like that I like that concept of having like some of the top teams in Chicago or Illinois come over to Indiana and play those teams. So it was Warren and Hammond Central. It was Kenwood and Gary Westside, and then East Chicago and Whitney Young. So that game that was my first time getting to see Warren and Jackson Davis play, and I think he went for 32 points. So he went off, and then also Michael Woods, sophomores, and they're both sophomores, and that's the crazy thing. Like a lot of sophomores are dominating the state. Like
Devin Cleveland is another sophomore at Kenwood Academy dominating.
Yep, and then Davion Thompson at Bolingbrook, and then you had Jackson at Warren. And
Davion Thompson's a sophomore.
Yeah.
Oh dang, bro. Yeah, it's a lot of the young guys. It's crazy. A lot of the top players, it seems like that we saw are the young guys, the underclassmen. I love to see that, bro.
Yep, and then so it's like, man, basketball in this area is in good hands for the next 2 years.
It's thriving.
If they stay, you know what I mean. You have the athletes that leave and they go to prep or leave out. So hopefully all those guys stay in the area and they continue to play well. But back to the Hammond Central. Not Hammond Central, the Hammond Civic tournament that I saw. Warren, he went off. Jackson Davis went off. Michael Woods went off. They're both really good. And then I got to see Kenwood. Kenwood is Kenwood. You know what I mean? TJ Seals, Alex Austin, Devin Cleveland.
TJ Seals a lot. I like his game a lot.
Yeah. I like TJ Seals. So they played well. But one person I really want to talk about is Dominique Murphy from East Chicago.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, he's the best basketball player that I've seen this year.
Really?
Yeah, he's the best basketball. As far as his game translating to the next level, he's the most college-ready basketball player that I've seen. As far as him on court, defensively, getting to his spots. Like, if you watch the highlight that I posted, like that we posted at Dominique, just if you see his movement, you'll be like, yeah, this is a college basketball player. You know what I mean? So yeah, for sure, for me, Dominique Murphy is the best player that I've seen.
Yeah, another player you posted too was a kid from, was it Gary Westside?
Yeah.
Derek Collins.
Yeah,
he was getting buckets too.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, from Gary Westside. Yep. Yeah, he went on. I think he may have scored in the like mid-20s against Kenwood. You know, Kenwood is one of the best teams in Illinois. So for him to really show off like that was a good way to to show what type of player he is. So yeah, he definitely went off too.
Oh yeah, a couple kids that we almost forgot about that played at the Hinsdale Central tournament. It was the kid Jordan Tunis, and then the other kid
Zion Young.
Zion Young,
yeah,
bro.
Yeah.
They are like a 1-2 like combo.
Bro.
That was like beautiful basketball. I see them play at like a high school level.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like those kids are pretty good over there too. I think they play for Schaumburg.
Yeah,
Schaumburg.
Yep.
I think it's Schaumburg. So yeah, man, those is also some good players that I personally saw, and they was playing Morgan Park.
Yeah,
and they was cooking them, and I'm like, whoa, slap.
Yeah, bro.
Like I'm talking about like either he was doing his thing, getting the mid range off, or he's doing his thing and dishing it to his guy in the middle.
And I like Zion Young because he's more of a traditional big.
Yeah,
like a lot of the bigs that we see are like stretched. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're wings. They're not playing in a post. You know what I mean? But Zion, when you watch the highlights, he's back to the basket, drop step, post moves, like, you know what I mean? So he's really, and then he could shoot the three also. So yeah, I like his game as a big. He's probably the best big that I've seen this year. I know DePaul College Prep has a good big too, but yeah, as far as like fundamentally, I think that Zion Young is one of the best bigs, traditional big men that I've seen.
Yeah, most definitely. Another kid game that I like, I know we talked about Rich Township, was Jaden Williams, bro.
Yeah.
Like his mid-range, like his shooting, he reminds me of how Harrison Barnes played at North Carolina, bro. Mm-hmm. Like he's just got like a dribble, shoot, mid-range, got a post-game turnaround shoot. Like he shoots. He's probably the purest shooter I've seen play this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because he can shoot, and the reason why I say that is because he can shoot on different levels. Mm-hmm. It's not just a three ball. It's a mid range, and it's even a close range, a post game. You know what I mean? So, and he shoots his free throws very well too. But the thing that I see him is like the shot off the dribble. It's like he's not catching it from somebody else. He's making his own shot and sometimes pulling up in somebody's face. And that's why I thought you even mentioned it too. You was like, he's probably has a college ready game.
Yeah,
as
he
well.
has a college ready game too. Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
I would think like the top three. I think college ready is Phoenix Gill. I think Vince Buzelis is too. Dominique Murphy, and then Jaden Williams. Like those four guys is like people that really stood out to me. Athletes that stood out to me. Like, okay, they're gonna play at the next level now. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I know another kid that's a great shooter that I just saw yesterday, and he went off for 24 points. I know he had 5 threes because I caught it. I don't know if I missed the 3, but I know he at least had 5 threes. Yeah. Was Kenwood, bro.
Yeah.
He's only a junior. He transferred from Whitney Young into DePaul College Prep this year. Wonder why Whitney Young couldn't retain no more, why he left. But that was a great shooter. I mean, that was a great shooting I saw yesterday. What you think about him?
Yeah, man. Just from the clips, I wasn't there to see it in person, but yeah, from the clips, like he was going off and pure shooter. And he was telling me like they're running the offense to get him.
It's
his
almost
shots,
like Steph Curry like
Steph,
type, like
screens
a Steph Curry
and
type thing.
off ball stuff. So a lot of off ball movement. But yeah, bro.
Yeah, because even the way he shoots, he like a lot of times he's off balance. Like it's not like a spot up. Shot. It's like a coming off a screen and then pulling up like after he just gets the ball, and his release is pretty quick. But not the tallest guy either, but he's a definitely great shooter. Like I thought he's another one of those top shooters in the state as well.
For sure,
man.
Yeah. So we seen a lot of basketball. I think, and then that led us to the Dipper, which is kind of like the story of the year so far with Rich Township, man. Like their first time. What was it? Was it the 51st? It
was the 51st annual Dipper, but I think that was 31 years since they won it.
Okay.
Like, because I think I saw that on Mac Irvin's page or Mean Street's page. I think it was Mac Irvin's, but I think it was they didn't win in 31 years. Okay. I think that's what it was. But that was the 51st annual Big Dipper tournament because I think it started in the 70s.
Yeah.
But that was. The Dipper was probably out of all of the showcases and tournaments we went to, the Dipper was clearly, undeniably the best one because it had the best all around environment. Yeah. Whatever game we watched and went to see, it had a crazy environment. The games were electric. The players we saw were great. It was a lot of the South Suburban teams. It was a lot of the CPL teams. And yeah, it was just great to see, man.
God, man, people couldn't even get in, bro.
People couldn't even get in.
People was sitting in the stairway, like they was like, man, they was like, man, we gonna shut it down. Like the fire marshal's gonna shut it down. We not starting the game until everybody got somewhere to sit. So it was packed in there. Like it was the best. It was the best environment.
Yeah,
for sure.
even as media though, we had to get there early, like because for the championship game, we made sure we was like, all right, we gotta get here super early and find a spot. Luckily, when we got there, we found a spot at the top of the bleachers, but. When we got there, like right when we found our spot, it was like probably 10 minutes later, not even. People just started coming in, packing in, and it was no spots really. It was a lot of it was the younger kids just trying to find a spot, and they was sitting on the stands and on the stairs, and they had to move around consistently. But man, that just tells you that's the game. That was the tournament to be at for sure. Out of any holiday tournament, because I've been to all of them, and I don't think that any of them was that packed. That was clearly the one to be at because it was. The atmosphere was just crazy, bro.
Man. And it's crazy though. And we went in there like, man, by no means did anybody think about Rich Township. You know what I mean? Like when we was talking before, we like, man, we gonna go to the championship game. We gonna see Kenwood and HF.
Yeah, we
like,
text each other saying it's Kenwood HF for sure.
But the first game, I think they may have played South. And they play somebody else, and I'm like, bro, they winning by like 20, 30 points. I'm like, this may get interesting because I didn't see them, but I just saw the scores. I'm like, they obviously got a good team the way that they winning. And then you went to Kenwood, they played Kenwood and they won. I'm like, oh, we like that. That's interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would have to say that's probably the best game I saw all year.
The Kenwood and
I like the Kenwood Simeon game because that was just that environment was crazy. But I will say that Rich Township game was probably equally as good because for one, they were in the bigger gym at Rich Township, so more people were able to get in.
Right.
But also the back and forth. I think for the most part, when Kenwood played Simeon, they controlled that game for the most part. It was it got closer, and I don't think Simeon ever really took the lead.
Right.
Maybe they did, but that Rich Township game, that was a game that was like back and forth. Everybody was getting buckets. I'm talking about on both teams. I know Devin Cleveland went off. He probably had the game high with points, but the way that game finished, that was crazy, bro. Because like you said, nobody was expecting Rich Township to beat the top team in the state, which is Kenwood Academy. And Kenwood Academy was nationally ranked 23 at that time. And they were still undefeated.
Right.
And Rich Township handed them their first loss. And in that game, like Rich Township came into that game with 4 losses. They may still have 4 losses right now, but nobody expected them to win that game. And the fact that they won that game and then they came back and did it again the following day in the championship. You know what I mean? So that was probably the best
in their own tournament.
Yeah, in their own tournament. Yeah,
they really, and that's basically a good example of like taking your respect. You know what I mean? Like showing, and those guys, and granted, those guys are still trying to mesh too because they're all like, for the most part, I think that's a new 5. Like they haven't played together before, so you know what I mean. Them having, I think 4 losses maybe before, then they were like 4 and 5 or something before the Dipper. So yeah, it's just not that they weren't a good team; they just didn't put it together yet, and you could just see it meshing, and it meshed at the right time when they needed it the most. You playing the best team in the state in your tournament. Like if any point you needed to turn it up, like that was the point, and they did it. So they definitely got everybody's attention, and that's how it goes. Like you can't be mad that media isn't covering you if you're not giving them anything.
You gotta
to
prove
cover.
yourself.
You gotta prove yourself, and they did that.
Because
I guarantee you, if Rich Township did not do anything in that tournament, me and you would not be planning to go to any other Rich Township games this year. But now, since they did that, we like, all right, cool, let's do it. Like I think their next big game is against St. Patrick. We're like, man, we got to pull up to a couple more games because that's just what it's about. It's like, it's not nobody counting you out. It's just we have to care about who's performing. You know what I mean? So I love that type of story. Was like, man, nobody was even thinking about it. Then all of a sudden, boom, they just.
Yeah. On that point, like even after I think it's the championship game when Exposure Runs, shout out Mustafa at Exposure Runs, he interviewed Jamson Coulter and Al Brooks after that game. And I think one thing that I like what Al Brooks was consistently saying, he kept saying, my brother's this, my brother's that, you know what I mean, talking about the team and everything. And I don't know if it was Jamson that pointed it out or Al that pointed it out, but he pretty much said that like people don't even realize like we just starting to get how, like we just starting to learn how to play together, and then we think we figured it out. And then on top of that, everybody on that team can score.
Man, that's
everybody on that team can score.
Yeah.
And I think he pointed it out, and that's what made me realize, like, oh, it wasn't just Al, it wasn't just Jamson getting buckets. It was everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody on that team. Everybody that got in was getting the bucket, and they can score at will. And the thing that I love about it the most, they're scoring at different levels. They're not just scoring from the three because you live by the three or you can die by the three.
Yeah.
But they're scoring at the three. They're scoring at the mid-range. They're scoring at the close. They're scoring in the post. They're getting rebounds. They're playing, great defense. They're playing great defense. And the thing that I even saw in that interview, I think it was Al Brooks with exposure runs, is that they already know they got their offense. Mm-hmm. They already know that they can score. The thing that they need to work on as a team and to continue to build upon is their defense. Because once they get that down pack, they already know they're gonna score. Yeah. And they offense gonna speak for themselves, but their defense is what's really, I think, is gonna set them apart. And that's why I said in the video, man, if they keep up that level of play from the Dipper, I see them making serious, considerable noise in the state playoffs, bro. And I don't think that's a reach. I think that's like very
it's realistic as far as the talent aspect. Yes, like we've seen a lot of teams play. That is the best team that's the best team that I've seen play. Yeah. You know what I mean? It may be close. I think Bolingbrook is really good. I like Bolingbrook, that team, but I can't say that there's a team that I've seen that's better than Rich Township.
Because Rich Township has size.
They have everything across the board. They have everything, bro. They have shooting, like you said, defense. Like they had, bro. They're a great team. Like they're a great team for sure.
I know we saw Bennett. Bennett has a couple, two tall, two very, very big guys. But even like I saw Bennett play. We pretty much saw all the top teams play. We saw Bennett play. We saw the Paul College Press. We saw Kenwood,
Bolingbrook, Warren,
HF. Yeah, we saw pretty much all the top teams. And out of all the top teams we've saw, I still stand on this. I don't think it was a team better than Rich Township.
I don't either. I really don't.
And I don't know if it's because it's like a recency bias or a shock value of like not having a low expectation and them massively exceeding it. I don't know if it's that, but I truly think Rich Township is probably the best team in the state.
As much, and like I said, I like Fenwick. I like Fenwick the most. As a fan, I like Fenwick. That's my favorite team, Fenwick. But
Shout out those Friars.
Yeah, I can't see. There's no team that I've seen that's better than Rich Township. I agree with you, bro. I'm not gonna lie. From everything.
Yeah. I know we talked about a few players that stood out to us. We talked about some of the games that we saw in high school basketball. Speaking of Chicago high school basketball, the reason why I want to kind of transition it to Derrick Rose.
For sure.
Been in the city lot, bro.
For sure.
Derrick Rose been like I haven't seen Derrick Rose being promoted this much in the city since probably his MVP season. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he's been pretty much, doing he had his flower shop one day flower pop up just a couple days ago. He just got announced yesterday, or maybe it was 2 days ago, that his jersey number is going to get retired by the Bulls next season. Saw that coming. It's only him and Jordan that's the MVP for the Bulls. So anybody that's thinking that his jersey should not be retired, you're crazy. Just go somewhere else. But what do you think about that, bro? Like, man, Derrick Rose
it started with Simeon, because he came back and they announced that he was their jerseys. He's sponsoring their jerseys, so they had the Derrick Rose jerseys, and that's kind of like when it all started. And then we just started seeing different things happening.
He was at the Chicago Classic this year.
Yep. And then like you said, the flower pop up, the jersey retirement. He actually had a I don't even know what type of game it was. I don't know if it was an alumni game or something, but he played at Simeon.
Pop-up game, it was like a couple days ago as well.
So and it was like nobody. I didn't see it being promoted or nothing. I just saw videos from people that was there, and I'm like, damn, man, I wish we would have known about that. We would have pulled up. But that was dope to see. He got to play with his son PJ. You know what I'm saying? So it was like a dope moment for him. This past couple months for real. So it's well deserved. And this is why when we had that earlier episode, I was talking shit about the Hard Knocks episode where they said Caleb Williams could be the next best player in Chicago since Michael Jordan. Like, how you skipping over D Rose? Like what are you talking about? And we talking about Derrick Rose. He from the city. You know what I mean? Mike ain't from Chicago. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's hard for
And Derrick Rose was a legend in the city before he even went to college.
Exactly.
He was a legend at Simeon. Derrick Rose was a part of it. Bro, Derrick Rose became my favorite basketball player of all time while he was in high school.
Man, bro. Derrick Rose had us wearing Adidas again. Derrick Rose had us wearing Adidas again. In hooping. Yes, in middle school. Yes, bro. So, yeah, man, yeah.
But Derrick Rose was a part of an era at Simeon of high school basketball, I'm saying, like in Chicago, that was different, bro. Like, because in that time, I think what was it, like 07, 08, or it may have been 06, 07, 08, whatever those years. It was like early 2000s, but like late of that 2010s decade. And when he was at Simeon winning state championships, it wasn't just him doing it in the city at the time. I think at that time it was like Evan Turner and a bunch of other people as well. I think Jeff Teague played in Indiana.
Wasn't Eric Gordon playing?
I think
too?
Eric Gordon was there.
playing.
Like, bro, that was an era of and this is before like Jabari Parker, like Simeon,
before the Kendrick Nuns,
before
before
all of that, bro.
Yeah.
This is when we were kids, bro, and we were watching them ball, winning state championships, bro, and that's when we fell in love with them. And then when we saw him at Memphis and transitioning to Memphis and watching him playing in the state championship, that he fell short and lost. Yeah. But they fell short and lost. But watching him getting drafted by the Chicago Bulls, bro, that era of basketball was different, bro. And I'm talking about it, like thinking in my mind as a kid. That was before I was even in high school. When he got drafted by the Bulls, I wasn't even in high school yet, bro. And to see that, like, all of that transpire from when he was at Simeon to Memphis to the Bulls and then winning the MVP, I don't think people understand how much our hearts was in it, bro. And I didn't even play basketball, bro. Right. That was the crazy thing about it. My bad, I know I'm going on a rant, but I didn't even play basketball, bro. Like, I've only played organized basketball one time in my life, but I've always loved the game. And the biggest reason why my love for the game exponentially grew, it was not because of LeBron James. It was because of Derrick Rose, bro. Like, watching him go from Simeon to Memphis to the Bulls and that Bulls team that we had, I really, really think if he did not get hurt, bro, he would have probably had a longer career for one, even though 15 years is a long career. Yeah. But I think he would have, I'm trying to say specifically, like, he would have had a long career with the Bulls. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that team that we created, the MVP season, the following year we were even better, and he just got hurt. You know, I think I credit the lockout season really to the reason why he got hurt so much that year, and eventually leading to him tearing his ACL. But bro, that era of Chicago basketball pioneered by one man, Derrick Rose, was crazy and unmatched. And I kind of somewhat feel sorry for the kids that came after us because they didn't get to experience that, bro. Right. I'm talking about that was a different era, bro. Yeah, what do you think? I one of my Derrick Rose. That's my favorite player of all time.
Yeah, bro. I think he is like, bro. Like, when you think about great Chicago athletes, great Chicago people, like, you got like Derrick Rose, man. People we gonna love Derrick Rose, bro. That ain't gonna never change no matter what. But yeah, I'm excited to see what his second career looks like. You know what I mean? Because I think he talked a lot about that in his interviews, how like the NBA was cool, but he got a bigger purpose. And I kind of see him fulfilling that purpose in the things that he's doing now in the city
a lot.
Yeah, you know, so I'm interested to see like what's next, because obviously there's more. Like, this ain't the end. And then his son, I wonder if his son is going to play, you know, PJ, in the area, you know, in some sort. I don't know, like go play at Simeon or go play at one of these Catholic schools or something. Like, will we see Derrick Rose's son in the Illinois basketball scene? But yeah, I just want to see what he does next. Can we see him coaching? Can we see him having, you know, some programs? Like, I'm sure all of that stuff is coming, so I'm excited for that aspect of it, because I know he's gonna do a lot of great things for the city now that he's retired. And it just seems like to me from his interviews that he's more happy now in the space that he in outside of basketball and being back in the city and the community. He was at the Bull. He had his Derrick Rose Day.
Yeah, you know,
they had it yesterday. They did the they played the Knicks, you know, they did the ceremony and stuff like that, and he gave an interview, and like, bro, it's just an amazing thing. It's, you know, flowers deserved, you know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, so it's just,
no pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended, but yeah, like, he definitely deserved everything that the city giving him for sure. Yeah, like, so yeah, I love it, and I can't wait to see what comes next, you know what I mean? Whatever that may be for Derrick Rose in the city. But man, I love everything that's happening, bro.
And this might be a far stretch, but I like to interview him, bro.
It ain't no far stretch.
I like to interview, bro. I would real life like to sit down with him, bro.
Yeah, that'd be dope, bro.
I have so many questions as just from a fan perspective that I would ask, bro. Like, because there's a video that I don't know if many people saw. I'm pretty sure many people saw it by now, but it was a video that I remember watching, bro. And it like damn near like, and this is a fan talking, damn near broke my heart, bro, was the video that I saw when he was creating his documentary, and it was showing when he got traded from the Bulls to the Knicks.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure everybody saw that. Yeah.
And the reason it broke my heart a little bit, but it also somewhat made me kind of dislike our own organization with the Chicago Bulls, because they did him wrong. I don't care what nobody say, even if they were planning to trade him, bro. Yeah. That is not the way you trade your MVP, bro. Yeah. You sit him down in the room, you talk to him and say, yo, this is kind of the situation. Yeah. You know, we looking to trade you. This is what we're going to do. there's no way he should have found out the way he did, bro.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't something similar happen with Michael Jordan? Where he trying to come back to the Bulls? Is that like was there something like that happened with Mike?
No. So in the Last Dance, it was he wanted to bring Phil Jackson back, and he was pretty much saying if Phil's not back with the team, I'm not back with the team. Right. And then they was like, well, Phil's not coming back, so you're not coming back to the team. But that was also under the regime of Jerry Krause,
right?
And Jerry Krause. It was a disdain between they kind of disliked each other, and it was clear if you watch the Last Dance documentary. But with Derrick Rose, I think who was in there at that time was Gar Foreman and John Paxson, who was kind of running the show, and obviously Jerry Reinsdorf. Don't get me started on him. But anywho, watching that as a fan of Derrick Rose and seeing how they traded him and he was crying and everything, bro, that damn near made me cry, bro, because it was like I remember being at work hearing that he was getting traded, and I don't know why I was just so naive at the time. I was really believing that we was never gonna trade him, bro. Like he was just gonna be with us for his whole career, bro. And I really wish he was. Yeah. Even though it was, I don't know, like business decisions. Obviously, the league, that's what it is. Any professional sports leagues, there's business decisions that have to be made. But I don't know, bro. It's ways that you can go about that too, and especially to treat your MVP, who you only had 2 MVPs, ever. Yeah, on the team, like I don't know, but I mean, it seems like they're trying to make up with it.
Yeah, they are.
With it now, with the run they're doing, because he's on if you look at the Chicago Bulls Instagram right now, it's him.
Yeah, all roll. You think he'll coach be on the Bulls staff coaching? You think could you see that?
I don't know if he wants to coach, but then again, I do know that he did play longer, and he was more. His later years was more of a veteran role. Yeah. And he probably was doing some mentoring then and being more of that vocal voice as a veteran. But it depends on if he wants to coach. Yeah. I don't know if he would want to coach. I don't know right away off the back I see him coaching in the league. I think I see him more with AAU. Yeah. Like I really think I see him more on the AAU scene.
I can see that.
And potentially I see him high school basketball. I don't know if I see him in the league. I don't know if he wants to coach in the league. But that's him. You know what I mean? But if you're asking me, my guess would be that he will probably be focused on his kid, PJ, his oldest son, and probably be a little bit more involved in that AAU scene with him. That would be my guess. That's just what I would think.
Right. But just doing community work.
Doing more community work. You know what I mean? I think more of serving the community more than getting back into the league. Like I think he may want to take a break from the league. Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure his journey, and that's another thing why I want to get him on, bro. I want to talk about like those times where it was just different, because it was a quote he made. I don't know if it was at the Simeon or whatever, but it was a quote he said that like he heard from somebody, or he heard it from Bob Marley. He was saying that you found out who your true friends really are in the darkness. Yeah. And he's like, and all his friends, when it was dark for him, they shine bright. Yeah. And that's what he really knew who his friends was. And I want to unpack that a little bit more, because it was going through injuries as an athlete, like even if you only have one, that recovery process is a journey. The fact that he had like 3 or 4 major knee injuries that required a journey of recovery, I want to really unpack that, bro. I know he's probably talked about it a million times that he's so beyond it because it's still equated to a 15-year career. Right. But I really want to just talk to him from a fan perspective, from a player, from a guy from the area that watched him play from Simeon all the way up to Memphis, all the way up to Chicago, all the way up to all of the teams that he played for in the NBA. I really want to know, what was that journey like? I know he's told the story many, many times, but I want to ask it from my way and unpack it from there, man. Sure. So, in other words, whatever way we can get Derrick Rose on this podcast, bro, sure. I would sincerely love to just speak with him, bro. Just being a Chicago legend, bro, that would be big, bro. So Simeon basketball, I know y'all follow the page, bro. Whatever way y'all can help us or whoever, bro. Like we would love to have that happen.
So yeah, definitely, man. But yeah, speaking of like, Derrick Rose in the community and us, and like that's what a lot of people are big on, is the community and building up people, and that's something that we really want to do, and something that we was talking about earlier, just about like how can we bring people in and have them join the team.
Yeah, I feel like it's something we missing.
You know what I mean? It is something we missing.
Yeah, with our following, bro. Because the how rapid our following has grown. Like, obviously, you started the off-season brand probably, a few years before I joined. Yeah. But when we started really doing the content stuff, that was about a year ago. And we've grown tremendously then, to the point that it's like, we've been talking about it like damn near every day at this point. It's like, bro, it's something that we're missing that we're not doing, bro. And it's more in relation to like the community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like getting out to the community. One thing I was even telling you was like the thing that I noticed that I didn't realize last year, that a lot of the videographers and work that we were seeing, I didn't realize majority of them or a lot of them are kids.
Yeah.
A lot of them are high school kids, like a Jay Visuals who goes to Brother Rice and I believe he's only a junior. Or even Murphy Visuals, he's at Lincoln Way West, I believe, and he's a senior. Or BXN Productions that goes to Lincoln Park. Like, I didn't realize a lot of these kids, sorry if I missed anybody else, but I didn't realize a lot of these videographers were kids. Videographers and photographers was kids, and they're just getting their brand started. And it's like, bro, the more I'm thinking about it and the more we talking about it and the more we understand it, it's like, how many more kids are out there that want to get started and they just don't know how? Whether it's that they don't have the equipment,
right?
But they want to get started, just don't have the equipment because their parents can't afford it, or they can't because they're kids. Like, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of these videographers got nice cameras, and I'm pretty sure their parents help a lot with that. But you know, a lot of kids are not in that position.
Right.
So I'm thinking about, and there was one kid even from Brother Rice that reached out to us that I told you about, that he was asking about an internship, and that really is what got my mind going. It's like, we never even really thought about an internship, but now we're thinking about it. You know what I mean? So it's like, obviously it's some things that we got to discuss behind the scenes that we would have to get together to be prepared for that. But I'm with it, bro. Like, I kind of want to have like some type of like program, not even like an internship, like a actual legitimate program. Like, you think about sports programs, right? Like AAU programs or 707 teams or whatever. Like, I'm thinking like we could have something similar to that to kids who don't play sports but they want to talk about it.
Yeah,
you know, like we can like. I feel like it's something
it
that
is,
we
it
can
is.
start.
And I think that would be dope, like having another show. You know what I mean?
Another
like,
show.
Like me
another
and you
show,
doing this. Like, yes.
But we're the producers of it, but we're not on camera.
Exactly.
It's the kids.
Give them
It's created by the kids.
Let them be creative. Let them be their own personality. Let them, you know what I mean?
All of their little dialect or lingo stuff that we would never say as like in our time. But
definitely. I
them
think
using
that's
their
dope, bro.
Whatever Riz, whatever the stuff they be talking about, whatever, bro. But it'll be,
bro, for sure.
and it don't even just gotta be sports, bro.
Yeah,
because
it can be anything.
obviously off season, we cover sports and that's our big thing, but sports is only just one like entertainment market.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? There's many things happening in the world, whether it could be political talk or whether it could be like pop culture talk about video games,
right?
Fortnite,
or music. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so much stuff. Yeah, like,
and I'm pretty sure there are kids, and the reason why I know there are kids out there that's like that because I was that kid in high school.
Exactly.
I just didn't know how to get started.
Let me tell you, bro. The podcasting idea, bro, is something that we should have done a long time ago. So like me, Kendall, Kimani, like, you know, we always used to be arguing, debating at the lunch table, you feel me, about sports and all that stuff. And we like, man, we should have recorded like somebody, because I think Kimani had the idea first.
You know, I think I used to see y'all at the lunch table debating, bro. Because I would roam around selling candy, and I think I used to see y'all at the lunch table, bro.
We used to debate every day.
I know Kendall was a good debater.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but one day Kimani was like, hey man, we should get a camera and record. I'm like, why the hell would we do that?
But it was unheard of at that time.
Bro.
I don't think any video podcast is. I know it was like audio podcasts, but we kids, we don't listen to audio. We listen to music and stuff.
And this was like 2010, 2011, like when we first got in high school. So I'm like, bro, why the hell would we get a camera and record this, bro? Like, it didn't make sense to me, but he was the first one to ever bring it up. And I'm like, then now look in hindsight, like now, look at us now. You know what I'm saying? Look at what we doing now. So that's still, you know, an opportunity to even do that in the future. But yeah, just sport is the platform that we've built. You know what I mean? All of the guys, we've built it up to this, but it's still, like you said, it's other things, you know, other things that we talk about. Even me and you, it's other stuff that we talk about outside of sport. You know what I mean? But I think there's other kids out there that's just like us, sitting at the lunchroom table every day, coming in talking about what happened in sports or what happened in music or what happened in, you know what I mean? So it's like giving them that spotlight to be able to do it, because I'm sure it's some great personalities out there and they love to do it. They just, like you said, don't have the information to get started. So I think there's like, it's
or
something
the
we could
equipment
do.
or whatever. But that's the best part when I'm thinking about it, and that's the best part I love about it. We already have it.
Yeah.
And we can have them use it, because at the end of the day, we're using this only when we're going like we're not using this 7 days a week.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, there are days in the week that this equipment that we're using right now to do this podcast can be used for those students.
Yeah.
And the more I think about it, the more it gets my brain going. Like,
Right.
it's like it's so many different opportunities. Like, even you was mentioning like live streaming. That's a thing that the kids are into these days. And it's like, how do we even help with that? It's like, oh no, I feel like it's such an opportunity out there to really start a program, whether it's like an after school program, whether it's coming to the schools and teaching it or whatever, like whatever it may be, there's an opportunity to get this stuff started for the kids and to help them out with it, bro, because we have the resources for them to do it. Yeah. I just don't know what that route is. So, I mean, we got some thinking, we got some brainstorming to do on it, bro, because we could talk about this forever, but it's like, bro, I really, it's something we missing, bro, and something more. At the end of the day, I think what I'm getting at is something more we could be doing, and I feel like we're not doing enough, bro.
No, we not.
Because it's good that we spotlighting the creators on our page, we're collabing with them, but I think we need to be going beyond that.
Yeah,
like that's cool. That's gonna help with Instagram engagement. That's gonna help everybody, but I think it's something beyond that.
Right? It's like, how do we create opportunities?
How
you know
do
what
we create opportunities?
And that's what it's about. Like, that's what this whole platform is about. And then that's why me and you, it meshed so perfectly. Like, it was flush because you had team, and the foundation of both platforms is to serve. You know what I mean? Like, that's why we created Off Season. That's why you created team, because we want to serve the kids in the community. We want to serve the people in the community, figure out ways. So now
teaching
that the
excellence
platform
amongst
is
the
getting,
masses.
the platform is getting big enough to where now we can start implementing all of the knowledge and all the ideas that we have and giving game back, because that's what it's about. Like, everybody, like, being for self doesn't help. I'm always stressed that on cam is that, like, man, if you want your life to be better, help people. Like, you get what you give. You know what I'm saying? If you're not making somebody else's life better, you wasting your time, and that's what I'm gonna die by. So everything that we do, it means absolutely nothing if it's not benefiting someone else. You know what I'm saying? So that's what, like, the main focus should be, and the foundation should be. So yeah, it's a lot of. If you a creator out there or anything, man, reach out. Like, we don't have it perfected. We don't have the idea perfect yet. But if you're interested in working with us on a deeper level, not just collaborating, just reach out. And we may not have an answer for you now, but we definitely planning something.
We're trying to get there, bro.
Yeah, we getting there. We gonna be able to help out for sure.
Because it was even somebody else that I can't remember the brand, but it was around, like, the playoff time. They reached out about starting a podcast around CPL sports. And I don't know if we ever responded to it, but because we get so many messages, bro. But like, even that is like thinking of my brand. It's like, bro, it's something we missing out on, because clearly it's probably people out there that see our brand and they probably want to be a part of or start something. Yeah. And they just don't know how to, bro. Right. And I think there's something that we missing out on that we should be and we can be helping out with to just get something started. But like I said, that's something that we probably have to talk about on our first hand. But like you said, man, don't be afraid to reach out for anything, bro.
Exactly.
Like, it's the page is ran by us.
Right.
It's us responding, whether you'll probably never know if it's me or FA responding, but it's us running the page, and it's not like it's somebody random, but yeah, bro. Like,
and we here for y'all.
And we here for y'all at the end of the day, bro. It's just, bro, like, bro, I'm just constantly thinking about it, bro. Like, I think about this stuff every day, bro. Like,
I'm shooting you messages like, hey,
that's mainly what we talk about, bro.
Like, always.
Like, every time we be on the phone for like 30 minutes, and then we'll get off the phone and we'll call each other back, and then another thing, bro.
right. Yeah, but that's what it's about. Like, that's growth. Like, always planning. Like, never being content in things. Like, it's doing well. Yeah, we got putting videos out, providing coverage, you're doing everything, but it's like kind of like, what did Derrick Rose say? He was saying his kids say, you want to be good or you want to be great. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of the mentality where it's like, okay, you putting out content, you doing what you're doing, but you can't stop thinking of ideas. You can't stop thinking about how to scale, how to get better.
It's a never-ending process.
It's never ending. Like, it's always an idea. It's always an innovation out there. It's always the next big thing. And that's kind of like what we're doing. It's just always something.
The one thing we learned, too, doing this is what we talk about. We come up with so many ideas. The one thing we learned is that there's never really a such thing as a bad idea. There's only a such thing as poor execution of that idea.
For sure.
Because you're going to always, like, see, quote unquote, you have a bad idea, but you execute it properly. Nobody would know that thing is not the route you want to go or something, or you don't like it.
Right.
Only you do.
Exactly.
Everybody else sees it as like, oh, dang, that looks nice.
Right.
Because I've seen, like, there's many different ideas we had of things and things that we've done, whether it was with the off-season rankings with football, or like the betting odds and stuff. Those are ideas that we came up with, but it could have been bad if we executed it poorly.
Exactly.
But the fact that we executed it well, it was like, oh, it was good. So nothing is really a bad idea. It's only really poor execution, really, at the end of the day, bro.
And don't be scared to try it.
Don't be scared to try. You
like,
can never know. What I say before is like, you got to start first and then make it better along the way.
Exactly.
You know, because like you said, do you want to be good or you want to be great? But you will never know what you have, what that idea is really until you put it to fruition and you plan it and execute it well. Everything, it always is proper preparation behind it. Everything. Even this, us setting up a camera like this is proper preparation behind it. You know what I mean? Editing the video, proper preparation behind it. It's always making those Instagram posts with like the Max Sutters and Nazir Rankin and stuff. That was an idea first.
Yeah, it was.
That was truly an idea first. That was before we even made the graphic.
Yeah.
That was an idea of how we wanted to do it. Or the score post. Like all of that stuff. Every little thing you see that's made by us, it's an idea first. And we talk about it first. And then we're like, all right, how are we going to do it? Let's brainstorm. And then we push it out. And we're like, hey, we like it. Let's keep doing it.
Exactly.
Or it's like, maybe we could go a different route.
Exactly. Or just scrap it and think of another idea. But the thing is, you're always going to be your biggest critic. Like, and you know what? I really realized that when we started editing and like I'll post something and then we both notice mistakes in it, but nobody else is going to notice it. And we'll go back like, oh, we got to change this. We got to change that. And we want to be so particular and everything. But the people from the outside, they don't know that we made the mistake.
Really don't, bro.
You know, and they still do the same thing. So I just say that to say, you're always going to be your biggest critic. So just go with it. Don't think you need the perfect equipment. Don't think you need the perfect edit. Don't think you need everything to be perfect to start. Just start and put it out there, and you'll get the reception. Like you'll get it. Like they'll tell you what they like and what they don't like, but you just continue to do it, and everything you do is gonna be quote unquote bad when you first start. It's not gonna look like what it looks like 2 years from now. Just think about us.
Our first, if y'all go back into the off-season podcast, look at our like first probably 10 episodes, bro.
For sure.
You will notice that for one, audio is missing on a decent amount of them because that was a story I told already that my laptop got stolen. But two, it was like the way we structured this now was not the way we structured it at the beginning. Even it was like more so like an interview style where I was interviewing y'all. And now it's more like a free form conversation. So that doesn't happen without us not for one doing it first, executing it. And then making it better as you go. You can make things better as you go. Everything's not going to be clean cuts, crisp when you first start, and that is okay. Development is the most important thing in any aspect of life. Any aspect of life, development is the most important thing.
And the funny thing is, you're going to get to a point where now the things that are bad are good. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to get to a point where you so popular, everybody know who you are, that you could post anything and it's gonna work. You know what I mean? It's gonna work. So it's kind of funny how that work in the beginning. You want everything to be perfect, but then once you get it right, then it's like you could just post whatever and it's still gonna go. So I don't know. It's funny, but yeah. Long story short, man, just start, man. If you got an idea, you got a dream, you got a goal, man. It ain't gonna start until you start. You know what I mean?
Start and be consistent. Because when you start, here's the thing: when you start, you cannot stop.
Exactly.
Because you don't see it grow.
Nope.
Only time it doesn't grow is because you stop or you're not consistent.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like posting once every 3 months is not being consistent.
No, it's not.
How can somebody know who you are if you're not constantly putting yourself in front of them?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, you're going to know who we are because we're going to constantly post and people are going to eventually start resharing it and you're going to eventually see us everywhere.
Exactly.
We're probably at a point where we're posting like 4 or 5 times a day now at this point. Obviously with the help of the creators. Shout out to creators.
With the creator, if you count the creators, it's probably like 8 or 9, like 10, bro.
But we weren't there a year ago, bro.
We weren't, and it kind of just happened. Like I want to say, it just kind of happened like that, and it's just growing from it. But I think we got like 1,500 posts or something like that almost, and that's what I'm saying. Like that type of consistency and work, and every post is not 100 likes, 1,000 likes. It is what it is. I told you, I don't even check no more. Like you'll tell me stuff like, oh, this person followed, this person comment. I'm like, I didn't even know because like we just edit and post, and I'm on to the next post. I'm on
posting,
to the next idea.
Posting, ghosting.
Yeah, man, put head down and
sometimes
work.
we respond.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. So that's what it is. Like a lot of people focus too much on everybody. Like I'll see creators post like, hey, should I do this? Should I do that? Who cares what they think you should do? Do what you want to do, and then you go from there. It ain't about what the consumer likes or wants. It's about what you want to do, and you make it work. You know what I mean? Nobody cares about what the I don't. You know, that's why you'll never see us say, oh, should we do this? Should we do that? Like we gonna give y'all our ideas, and y'all will tell us.
Because at the end of the day, it's your brand that the consumer really cares about. Like your brand is your promise to the consumer. Once they already have fallen in love with the brand, most of the things you do, they're going to like because you've already sold them on the brand.
Exactly.
Once you sell a consumer on the brand, obviously you don't want to get too far away from doing what the consumer wants, but at the same time, everything that you created is what you created.
Exactly.
like curated is what you created. It's
Right.
like everything that they like, or the reason why they're following you and your brand is because you initially came up with that idea to come up with whatever that brand may be. You know what I mean? So, and once they fall in love with that brand and they trust that brand, anything you post at that, they're gonna love.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like anything they make.
So we appreciate all the love and support everybody be giving us, man. Like for real, we appreciate it. And we
can't respond to everybody. We're sorry.
We can't,
it's hard to, bro. Like you gotta think, like we're not on the Instagram account 24/7, so we can't. And then you gotta think when you respond to somebody sending us a message, there are other people sending us messages as well. So, but we do try to get to everybody. So if we missed you, we do apologize. But we definitely at the same time, don't be afraid to reach out, man. Like. Don't be afraid to send collabs through. But that thing about starting a program, I think we got to discuss that a lot more. And once we figure that out, like you said, ideas, thinking about it, how can we create something, brainstorming.
Right.
And it won't mean nothing if we can't bring it to fruition.
Exactly. And y'all will probably see a month or 2 months from now something come about, and hey, that's how it works.
Yeah.
I'm
excited, bro. I'm excited. Basketball season is still in full effect. I know we mentioned the next tournament that we'll probably get to is the MLK one at HF. And then there's going to be a lot of conference play.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of conference play coming up for a lot of the teams that we discussed. And we're just going to keep it pushing. Definitely we're going, when state comes around, we'll be at state for sure. Gonna figure out the way we're gonna cover that the best way. Yeah. But I'm excited to see how this season finished playing out. Hopefully we can get Derrick Rose on the podcast. I'm praying for it, Derrick Rose. We love you. But and then the program stuff, man. I'm excited to what the possibilities are this new year, man. This new year, I am very optimistic about what this brand could be. What this brand could be for sure, because obviously we've grown a lot within 1 year of like consistently, posting and making content, but the ceiling that I see for us is it's the roof is off. You know what I'm saying? There is no ceiling. So shout out Lil Wayne. But is there anything else you want to talk about before we go off?
No, I think we covered everything. Like I just want to say any creatives out there that think they have a personality, think they want to do podcasting, interested
even if you don't have the equipment, bro.
Reach out, man. Reach out, because like I said, I think it'll be cool for us to have another show where they don't see me and you, and introduce some new faces to the platform, some high school or college guys to talk about sports, music, anything,
because at the end of the day, we're older. Like a lot of the content we make is geared towards the high school students and the college students, and we try to touch into professionals. But I think it's more meaningful when there's more people like their age that's doing it. You know what I mean? Like, so if it's like a high school podcast that has high schoolers on it and they talk about things, I think those high school kids can relate to it more, because a lot of things that we talk about is from perspective of once being a high school student, and we've gone through life since then. We're 10 years out removed from high school, so it's like I think it's cooler and it's more like relatable when it's younger kids actually talking about a Nazir Rankin or a Vince Buzelis or anything in pop culture, like the new artists that may be out or movies that's out or whatever. I think it's more relatable to them from their perspective than from us who are essentially adults.
And then we could learn too. We
can also learn.
Because, like, it's a quote from KRS-One that says, if the younger people learn from the older people, they'll move faster amongst the younger people. And if the older people learn from the younger people, they'll move faster amongst the older people. So it's like, you feel me? So it's like it's giving you that. So from them being around us, they'll have the knowledge and all, and they'll move faster amongst their group, and us learning from them. You know what I mean? We can keep up what's really going on, because all we see is what we see from our page and our perspective. But if we get some younger guys to come in here and then they put us on game, like, oh yeah, this how this work, this what they like, this what, because we could just assume what they want to see. So yeah, for sure, like I definitely want to tap in with some of the younger guys and see what they could offer and see what they want to do, and give them a platform to really showcase what they can do outside of athletics. So yeah, tap in with us, man. Any of y'all interested in doing a podcast, man, hit the DM and we can talk.
You don't need to have equipment.
Nope. All you need to do is,
as you can see.
Yep.
Nah, for real though, bro. I'm excited about that. New Year, I'm super optimistic about, bro. 2025 for sure. But outside of that, I know we've been going for a while, so we can go ahead and wrap it up. I want to say again, Happy New Year. If there's any type of New Year resolution that you have, stick like plan it, execute it properly, and stick to it, bro. And I guarantee you will see many growths within whatever aspect that may be. But this is the off-season podcast. Don't remember what episode this is, but obviously you're gonna see it in the title. And thank y'all all for all of the love and support that y'all have been giving to us over the years. All of this is 100%, and I mean that sincerely. This is not possible without y'all. Our brand is absolutely nothing without the people that follow us and the people that like our post or share our post or whatever. It's nothing without the athletes. It's nothing without the spectators. It's nothing without anybody we've done an episode with. The videographers, the photographers, everybody. I could shout them out all individually, but it's so many.
Exactly.
But without all of y'all, our brand is nothing. Like, it truly does not grow without y'all. So I want to say it here first, if we haven't said it at all, is that we do appreciate everybody that has helped this brand grow over the year, for sure. So we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep providing content, keep providing spotlight. We're gonna plan some things in the background and get some things out there too as well. And we're gonna keep it going. But this is the off-season podcast. Anything else you want to say before we go?
Hey man, 2025 is the big shot year, man. Only big shots this year, man. No more small shots, bro.
For sure. Yep. For sure. But tune in, follow our highlights. Follow our Instagram, follow our YouTube, everything. See all of the content we have created in the past, content we continue to create, and we're going to keep it pushing. But this is the off-season podcast. I know I said that like 4 times, but we out.